If you're trying to figure out exactly how much money you need to go full-time on your business, you've probably already been told to stay in your job until your business can replace your salary. But what if your job is the reason you don't have the time, energy, or clarity to build a business that could potentially replace it? I spent years splitting my attention between my job as a lawyer and my own business before finally quitting at 31 years old. And when I quit, it wasn't because I had replaced my salary. So in this video, I'm going to share exactly how much money you need to go all in on your business based on 3 different scenarios, so you can make this possible without replacing your salary first. The first scenario is when you're transitioning into your own already established business. And even if your business is far from established or doesn't even exist, which I will get to in scenario 2 and 3, understanding this phase and planning right from the start will save you a lot of time and money, especially as a beginner. So, in scenario 1, you already have proof of concept and clients. This is where we need to be before you think about paying yourself a salary. Ideally, the business is also profitable, but it doesn't have to be. To understand how much revenue the business needs for you to be able to pay yourself, we need to establish that in a business, the owner gets paid last. Because this is how money typically flows through a business. When the business receives payment, it's called revenue. From that, you withdraw expenses. One of them is salary. And if you have other people working for you, you need to pay them before you pay yourself. Otherwise, they will leave. On top of that, there needs to be money left so the business itself can keep growing. On top of that, there is taxes, because unlike when you're an employee, tax isn't automatically withdrawn before money lands in the business account. So you need to manually account for that throughout the year so you can afford to pay tax on whatever profit there is at the end. Now, there is far more to this, and planning these things and making calculations is basically what I used to do in my old job. But if we keep it simple, to pay yourself, you need more than you think, because things don't always go as you plan. So, what should that financial cushion look like? When you're jumping from a job to your own business, you should be able to cover at least 6 months of your personal expenses without salary. So, take your monthly expenses, multiply it by 6, and keep an emergency fund on top of that. If you live in a Western country, I would not put this below 10k USD, but you need to account for your cost of living and how much you are willing to cut. And when you are allocating your money, be clear on what's actually disposable and decide up front what you're willing to give up at what point, so you can do things like selling stocks when it suits you instead of being forced to do it at a bad time. Scenario 2 is when you're quitting to build a business. Ideally, you have already started on the side. The business is making money here and there at least, but not enough to replace your salary and justify quitting like in scenario 1. And if you're not here yet, don't worry, we'll get there in scenario 3. So, the most common advice here is to wait until the money you can take home from your business is replacing your salary. But for a lot of people who are building on the side, that never happens because your job is taking your best hours while your business is getting the leftovers. So this scenario is about how you can quit your job without having everything in place. Most businesses take 2 to 3 years to become profitable, and that is with founders working on them full time. And only around 40% of businesses ever reach profitability. So expecting to replace your salary from the start in a business that's built in your free time may not be realistic. Instead, it may be exactly what's holding you back and makes you wait when you can afford to take a bigger risk. With my first business, I matched my salary here and there, but the money was unpredictable. But after years of trying to do both, I decided that I had enough proof to quit my job, because if I could go full time, I would figure out the rest. And despite the struggle, I am glad I quit when I did. What I learned by quitting and going full time was that the business I had enjoyed at 20% was dreadful at 100%, and I could not see myself sustaining the foundation it was built on, and quitting to go full time was the only thing that could have given me that insight. So if I hadn't quit, I could have burned out trying to force a business I didn't even want, or just given up altogether and been in a 9 to 5 forever. But it also meant that I had to pivot, and leaving a business to build a new one requires more runway, especially if you're building full-time and you are pre-revenue. When it comes to planning your runway, you want to be on the conservative side, because the time and energy it takes to build a sustainable business is more than someone with a full-time job can give it. And when you go full-time, you will see your business with new eyes and realize that you need more time than you think to turn it into the business you want to have. And in some cases, pivot or start over. So your runway doesn't just need to cover your personal expenses, it also needs to fund the business. And that side is harder to predict, because you don't know what growing your business will require or what it will cost. In the beginning, it may be accounting, equipment, mentors, courses, or raw material. It really depends on the business itself. When it comes to your personal expenses, you need to cut the expenses you don't want to have going forward. And beyond that, it depends on your age and family situation, but most of us can cut quite a lot if we're willing to make inconvenient choices. Also, if you have a partner, make sure that they are with you on this journey mentally and financially, and recognizes that this benefits you both long term. Going full-time on a business is easier with a strong safety net, so be willing to ask for help and don't convince yourself that you need to be independent at all costs. To make the calculation of what you need, take what your life is costing you per month and multiply it by at least 12 so you have a year, and add what you're setting aside for the business on top. If you live in a Western country, I don't think you should quit with less than 50k USD available. With that, you should be able to build a small service business, which is usually cheaper than a product-based one, and you have some wiggle room to be wrong and pivot. And if this sounds a bit overwhelming, I'm happy to chat directly and help you run the numbers and translate this into a step-by-step to-do list that you can use to start planning your exit this week. You'll find the link in the description. And even if starting on the side feels hard, it's still the best way to prepare yourself for this transition. People who start their business while employed are about a third less likely to fail than people who jump straight in from nothing. And it's not because of the money they're potentially making, it's about what they're learning about the industry and themselves while their job is still paying the bills. Scenario 3 is if you have no idea what you're gonna start, or if you have started something but you're not sure about it. You find yourself busy, burned out, and thinking, if I could only go full-time, then I would figure this out. This is when your mind is too cluttered to figure out what you want your life to look like, and therefore what the business that aligns with that looks like. While most people would say, don't quit, there is another side to this where you can give yourself permission to quit because you have figured out how to afford the risk. To a certain extent, this is what I did. During the first year of my career, I had no idea what I wanted to do, but I knew that I didn't want to be in a 9-to-5 forever. When I transitioned from being a student to working in corporate, I dug deep into personal finance advice and aimed for FIRE. Financial independence, retire early. That made me focus on saving and investing as soon as I started making money. On top of that, I worked closely with successful founders in their businesses to preserve and grow their wealth, which, ironically enough, turned my old strategy upside down and made me realize that FIRE wouldn't take me where I wanted to be, and starting my own business felt much more interesting. When I quit my job years later, my proof of concept in my business was closer to scenario 2, but my runway was designed for scenario 3, because I had been spending the last years of my career making excuses to avoid quitting because I was scared. But FIRE forces you to say with direction before you have one. So when you don't know what you want, but you're sure that you want to quit, and you're willing to take some time or even a gap year to figure it out, it is 100% possible. But I would not do it with less than 100k USD available, because at this stage you are funding a longer time without recurring income, and you don't know what you will need it for. And if you're curious about this, I'm happy to brainstorm with you and help you turn the right idea into reality. After the call, I will give you a step-by-step to-do list with activities that have the power to compound into a business that aligns with the life you want, so you can get started this week. You'll find the link in the description below. What having a runway provides in scenario 3 is clarity and first-row access to your own brain, which is a luxury in today's society. You need time to explore what you want, try different things, and not stress your way through it because of financial pressure. And then, once you've found it, you're basically at the start of scenario 2. And ideally, you want half of the 100K to fund that phase as well, so you can transition directly between figuring out what you want and actually starting. These 3 scenarios are designed so you can take the next step, instead of passively waiting for your business to replace your salary, which may never happen. But your actual numbers will depend on your monthly costs, what you're bringing in, and where you're at in your business. And I would consider these minimum benchmarks that will give you time to make your business sustainable, regardless of where you are as a beginner. But quitting your job to start a business isn't just about the money. So to figure out the practical steps and start mapping out your timeline, you can watch this video to get my 6-month roadmap, so you can plan your transition smoothly. See you there.